Good afternoon. Today brings us to the neighbourhood of Heritage Park, and this is the walk I did around it. This neighbourhood is only about 5 kilometres away from my house, so I've walked it today and I'm boiling. It is February. The Sturgeon Creek on my right here is actually flowing. You don't normally see flowing water until at least March or April. I think I'm overdressed. This is incredibly warm weather for February. Let's see what the neighbourhood of Heritage Park has got to offer. The big white apartment building behind me is the Victoria Arms Apartments. There it is. And that is where my sister-in-law lived with her friend after, I guess, me and my wife left her homeless after we moved in together. And I believe that those apartments behind me is where my sister-in-law met her husband, so everything turned all right in the end. While I am a big fan of mild weather, big fan of heat, this hovering around zero, melts during the day, freezes solid during the night, makes it very treacherous underfoot. I'm walking along well gravelled roads here now, but my goodness, walking through the Sturgeon Creek Park there, I was tiptoeing like a ballet dancer. I didn't film any of that because I'm sure you don't want to see me tiptoeing like a ballet dancer. What I need to do now, after a 5k walk from my house and a tiptoe through Sturgeon Creek there, I need to go and find something to eat. Saigon Nails is where my wife gets her nails done. Pizza. Let's give that a try. And we'll do that sports bar at the end.
It's very pretty in here. There's all the nail polish. Color we're both getting our toenails.
My lad has always said pizza is like boiling the bag pizza. Wet, kind of doughy, and I must agree with him now. That was a stromboli and it was more grease and liquid than anything substantial, so thumbs down for that place. Alright, let's go a little bit further north here, see what else is in Heritage Park. North Ferriby for the win. The condos that you can probably make out behind me is where my brother-in-law used to live. At the same time my sister-in-law was living down Victoria Arms. Well, we lived on the top floor, and it was my job and my sister-in-law's husband to carry the television from the truck up the stairs. And it was a 50-inch television, of course, massive. And it wasn't one of your wafer-thin, lightweight LED things. This was a tube television, 3 inches of glass, massive cabinet. Oh man, and we had to carry it up 3 flights of stairs. It was one of them things where you lifted it up one step and then went, whew, let's have a 5-minute break. And we get it upstairs, we hunk it into the condo, and everybody's sitting around having a beer and a pizza, and oh man. Well, it was a good bonding experience for me and my sister-in-law's husband, so if any benefit came out of it, it was that. There you go, my brother-in-law's condos. One more nostalgia trip around Heritage Park, and then I'm going to go and track down that bar and get myself a drink or two. Number 41, Heritage Boulevard. When I first met my wife, her and her brother and her sister, her mum and her stepdad were all living there with a big black dog called Katie. And my wife was going to university. She did have an apartment in Osborne Village for a little bit, but for a couple of weeks while I was over here, she was there. Many a party, Christmas party, Thanksgiving, tons of stuff going off in that house, and even my parents would have been there, probably during the wedding or on one of their visits, and not sure, maybe even my sister's been to 41 Heritage Boulevard. So quite the hub of activity for us lot here in Winnipeg. Moved out of there quite a few years ago now, but there you go, the last little bit of nostalgia in Heritage Park. I gotta find my way back to that pub now. Let's give this a shot. How do we get in? Alright, that was a pokey little bar, but a couple of nice pints. Very geared towards the locals. Had something called erotic bingo on certain nights of the week. No idea what that could possibly be. To finish off the family heritage of Heritage Park, my wife's uncle and aunt also live in this neighbourhood, so quite the family affair around here. Okay, well, with that pub being a little bit odd and playing far too much hockey for my liking, I'm going to call somewhere else. It's outside the neighbourhood, but I don't know what's going on.
All right, Jose Mardo, president of the Bantam Arm Wrestling Association, 3-time world champion, facing up against Kyle the Giant Backlund.
Excuse me. Well, I missed all the arm wrestling action at Underdogs. everything was being wrapped up as soon as I got there. Shouldn't have had that extra pint in the 4th line. Ah well, I got a 5k walk home now, but there's one more place I could try that happens to be on the way. That last time I was in this neighbourhood, it was closed. Let's give it one more shot. And that's the hotel bar in this place. If it's open, great. If it's closed, then so be it. I am quite impressed. A Birchwood Pilsner. The bar was called the Birchwood. There was a Birchwood burger on the menu. There was a Birchwood salad on the menu. And I wonder how many people know that it's called the Birchwood because it's in the neighbourhood of Birchwood. Well, if you need to see my Birchwood video where I didn't manage to get into that bar, then the link is in the description. Alright, 4.4 kilometres to get home now. That is definitely a classic Mini under there. All right, no more distractions. That basically leads me to say thank you, Heritage Park, for your hospitality.